Let's turn to Fox News Sunday host Chris Wallace, who's also in Washington. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Shep. How are you?
Great, thanks. Lots of questions for Jeff Sessions. Where do you see this?
Well, I think you have to make a distinction between the Papadopoulos story and the story of Carter Page. When I say that Papadopoulos is in one meeting, he says that, I've got some contacts. Should I use my contacts? Sessions says he shut it down. You can really understand where he might not have remembered that, and that somebody saying, I've got contacts I could use is different than the question he was asked about, do you know of any contacts that actually took place? The Carter Page one is more troubling simply because of the fact that you've got Carter Page saying that he told the House Intelligence Committee, one assumes under oath, that he specifically told Jeff Sessions he was going to Moscow. And then we have that video that we just played of Sessions saying that when asked specifically about Carter Page by the Senate Intelligence Committee, saying no, he never had heard anything about Carter Page going to Moscow. That seems like a direct contradiction. And again, all of this has to be seen, Shep, in the sense that, Sessions was in a little bit of trouble already, a lot of trouble already, because he had misspoken or misled the Senate Judiciary Committee during his confirmation hearing when he said he had no contact with the Russians. He then had to go back and clear that up and say, yeah, in fact, I met with the Russian ambassador, and recuse himself from the Russia investigation. So when he was specifically asked a question about Carter Page, if he didn't remember it, you would think that he would have gone back and searched his memory and immediately cleared up and corrected the record. He didn't do that. So I would think the Carter Page aspect of this is more troubling.
And is that another one of these come up to Capitol Hill and get grilled and grandstanding and all that kind of business, or what will you anticipate here?
Well, it depends, because it's the Democrats calling for it. The Republicans haven't. The Republicans control the committee. I also just wonder, as a political matter, if you're a Democrat, do you want Jeff Sessions to be forced out of office or to give the president an excuse to fire him? I mean, he's recused himself from the Russia investigation. What happens if you get a new attorney general who, and the Democrats can't blame the president because they're the one pushing him out, and then this new guy comes in and says, well, guess what? I'm not recused from Russia. So I think the Democrats might want to be careful what they ask for.
What do you make of the claims that Hillary Clinton hijacked the primary?
Well, I have to say it's very shocking, and it has a lot of credibility. I mean, here you have Donna Brazile, who, after Debbie Wasserman Schultz was kicked out as the chair of the DNC, now in her new book is saying, I then saw this agreement I was completely unaware of, and it basically gave Hillary Clinton large control over the Democratic National Committee before a contested primary with Bernie Sanders. The Sanders camp was complaining all along that the DNC had its finger on the scale and was trying to help Clinton in terms of when they scheduled debates and how many debates and things like that. And here is the succeeding DNC chairwoman saying, guess what? It was true. And then, of course, you had Elizabeth Warren yesterday go on television and agree with Brazile that the primary was rigged. There's a real pushback, I can tell you, against Clinton and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the Democrats. The energy in the Democratic Party right now is in the left wing with Bernie Sanders, with Elizabeth Warren, and this only adds fuel to the fire of them saying we got robbed in the 2016 primaries.
Based on the accusations in the excerpts from the book that have come out, does this rise to the level of illegal, or if true, or where is it?
Well, parties are generally given pretty broad control over how they run their primaries, how they run their affairs. The one question would be whether there were false filings to the Federal Election Commission in terms of if there was this financial arrangement, was all of that disclosed publicly? Now, I don't know whether that's a civil penalty or a criminal penalty or what, but I don't think it would be, some conspiracy or something like that. It might be a false filing to the FEC. But let's be honest, the real impact of this is going to be political, not legal. And one of the really interesting things is Donna Brazile was a big supporter of Hillary Clinton. Remember, she's the one who gave the CNN question to the Clinton camp before she became an official in the DNC. And the fact that she is now trashing, throwing Hillary Clinton under the bus gives you an indication of that the Clintons' future in the Democratic Party may be behind them.
Politically speaking, what's your assessment of the state of the RNC and the DNC these days?
Well, I hadn't thought about that.
The power just seems to have gone to the extremes, as you mentioned a minute ago. The power with the Democrats is on the left, and the power with the Republicans is in this new populist something. And just the structures don't seem to have what they once did.
Well, I would say on the Republican side, I think that's very much in doubt. I think you're going to have a real battle for control of the Republican Party. It isn't so much the RNC, it's where the weight is going to be in the party. You've certainly got the Bannon wing that is going to try to get people like Roy Moore in Alabama and in other states, get insurgents to win. To be more Trump Republicans than conventional GOP Republicans, and very much to oppose people like Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader. But the Republican establishment is fighting back. They're planning to spend millions of dollars opposing the challengers, are going after Steve Bannon personally, ties to white nationalism. I think that's a battle that's going to be fought out throughout 2018 in all the primaries.
How was the sit down with Paul Ryan? That's one of Chris's guests tomorrow, Sunday.
He's my exclusive guest. We sat down with him. Oh, there we are, walking together.
Yes,
in case you mistake it, Ryan's the guy on the left. I know some people might think he was the guy on the right. Very interesting. He has some very interesting things to say about Hillary Clinton. He has some interesting news he makes about the tax bill and new things that might be added to it. You won't want to miss Fox News Sunday. I know you never do, Shep, but you won't want to miss it.
No, I do not. Great to see you, Chris.
Good to see you. How are the Ole Miss Rebels doing?
Chris, here's some salt. Here's a wound. You be nice.
Because we haven't talked about that much this year.
No, it's been busy. We're going to have quite a basketball season and a fantastic baseball season. I'm very excited about it.
Is that why you're actually working on Fridays this year? Because you're not going to the Ole Miss football games?
I don't work too many Fridays. I work as few as possible. After 22 years, you do get a little bit of vacation.
Okay. Well,
right.
I mean, but
you
take a lot of Fridays off.
I tried.
This football season, you haven't so much.
I'd take 52 of them off if I could, but I can't, so I won't.
Okay.
I think these people back here would love it if we could all get a Friday off. Are you volunteering your team for Fridays? Yeah. Make you very popular here, Chris.
Well,
okay.
We might be able to work something out.
All right. Tell Mrs. Soup hello, and we're thinking of her.
I will indeed.
All right.
Thank you very much.